knowing that Navi has not played it this stage. They did play it with the double duelist, and you know, seeing Hero with how he's playing, being put on the duelist, so now he's in that fragging role. Do you think if they are to keep that composition?
I believe it was a double duelist in like a third-party event, wasn't it? I think. And yeah, I think double duelist for Navi could be a pretty good idea. So, and double duelist is one of those things where it's like, okay, this map might not be our best map, but you know, double duelist can pop off.
Okay, let's focus now on to Bind. These are the compositions that we're getting. We are getting the KO on the side of Angel. Mini, I hear you laughing. What's so funny?
Double KO.
Just one of those days. What do you have against that?
Oh, Flickless hasn't locked in yet. All's not lost. You might actually
be saved on one side. Hey, you said you didn't want to see the Deadlock Echo this, that. Were they playing a more composition? And that doesn't mean boring. That just means
more
good. And like something that you would
okay,
be more
I do love
adjusted.
the Astro.
There is...
I'll give Astro.
There are changes, though, on Giant X's side. I mean, Cloud is jumping off of the Gecko and onto the Fade this time round, and we're actually going to see Ara on... Oh, no, sorry, we do usually see Ara on the race, but they have moved away from the Deadlock, so Westside is now going to be jumping onto that Viper instead of the Deadlock, which I'm sad. I do enjoy watching some Deadlock gameplay here in VCT EMEA, but hopefully it works for them.
Maybe in the new maps, maybe in Abyss and all that, but for Bind, this is what we are going to get. You, on the other hand, are going to get to enjoy two of the best casters in the world. Let's toss this over to Mitchvan and Tombiz.
High praise, Kukuka. Thank you very much. Yes, it's time to get into this matchup, Navi and GX. And Tom, GX, I said this the other week when we were casting them, these guys surprised me this year. I didn't expect this roster to look anywhere near as strong as they do, but a big challenge now up against one of the most tenured IGLs within the game of Angel.
Yeah, for sure. I think that it comes, for me at least, as like a middle ground. I think that we saw an incredibly strong start to the season coming out of GX, slightly slowing down a little bit in some of their recent matches, especially the loss to Foot was a bit of a surprise. Na'Vi have kind of been the opposite. I think they started a little bit slow, a bit shaky versus Apex, lost to Liquid, and then have kind of come into their own later into the season. So I'd say on form, I'd slightly give this series over to Na'Vi, as some of their individuals have looked very good. But if you're going off the entire season so far, I think we're bang in the middle.
Oh, you saw there on your screen, and we talked about it a little bit on the desk. 2023, the last time either of these teams was at a Champions event. It was over in Los Angeles. Early fight for Alexic, a man that we'll be talking a lot about as this series goes on. We don't get to see why here, but the rest of the squad is there to clean up. Hero and Xiao with the double each. And that's going to leave Westside, player, I think, #1 in headshot percentage. A lot of that you can put down to the Sheriff rounds that are terrifying when it's in his hands. But he's coming into this with a Ghost and 4 Tangos to drop. This is a tough play for anyone.
Yeah, already Paranoia was still available as well, so very easy finish for Na'Vi and a solid start to their map choice. And also the maps is something I think that I want to talk about going forward. Is like, if there was a map I think the Na'Vi are going to be most comfortable on, it's actually map number 3. I think Ascent has been one of their best maps for an incredibly long time, looked very good as of recent. I'd say that Haven is a complete unknown. But for GX, I think they'll probably go into that one as slight favorites, although they got dominated by Heretics, but so does everyone else. And then Bind, again, a bit of a mystery. I think that we've seen a singular map versus Fnatic look very good for Na'Vi, and a blunder versus Foot for the side of GX, but all in all, a match that, again, feels somewhat a middle ground, but I do think if it goes to 3, it's very dangerous for GX.
Well, the TP play from GX, I like this, trying to make the best of a bad situation. They catch one player, Westside, a little bit isolated, it's fair to say. But with only him going down, nothing big retrieved for GX. It'll be the other teleporter as they realize the hits coming in on the other side of the map. One player down, it's Hero to fall. Now they can recover a weapon, but it's this fight towards long. Expecting Angel to be that late to the party isn't something that'll cross most players' minds, and they get punished heavily for it.
Punk is stat padding. He just lost a battle to a Classic on a 40 HP. Orb, he was farming orbs, even though that has actually hurt them. Because up until that point, they weren't losing any weaponry. I like that from Gravino. Realistically, winning this round, very unlikely. As you can see, he would have been decimated. And so he gets rid of a gun. It makes things more expensive for Na'Vi that never would have happened if he maybe went for that fight. And it means that one of those rifles has gone down the tournament.
Yeah, a cost applied to this round either way. And I like this, the start out looks very good. You can see the opportunities that GX are creating for themselves, even on this low buy round. It's a great sign of what's to
Three
come.
frags is 3 frags.
I knew there'd be
I
something
think
like
two
that.
of them were like 15 HP, but you know, you take it. You
Three
take
is
it.
three, brother. A win's a win.
It gets the orbs, and that's the main thing. Of course, what it does mean for Angel in this round is he is only going to be playing with a pistol. Now, something we saw with his KO on Ascent was he was holding those knives quite regularly in the second half. I'll be interested to see if that will be the case here on Bind, but early throws do allow him to get that extra little bit of space. They know that there isn't anybody around that hookah area. Well, a little bit dangerous with the jumps. That's Ruxic already hitting a tag. There might be some weaknesses here, but tags like that will make Angel's life very easy.
The occasional wall going up here towards the A site, you can see the Viper wall in play. A lot of the time it's going to cause you to have that little gap of information, be worried about that sneak up, but Westside is just checking it periodically. He's going to get the info, but it's so costly. Great shot delivered on the other side. On 10 HP now, he cannot defend that position. And it's Ruxic to run through an easy fight. One shot to the body regardless of what weapon he goes for. The Outlaw might make this a little more difficult. Never mind, he gets his first and another followed up on with the Ghost NAVI. They're making this really good. And it's all on Ruxic. A 3K that has left Ara all by himself after Xiao picked up the attempted trade. What a lights out start from this attack side.
I feel like he was not in a favorable position for almost every single one of those fights, but somehow has managed to make it look good, and my hero should be able to execute Ara. He got there in the end, 3-0. A solid start for NAVI, but more importantly, a very, very shaky start for GX. That is not the look you want to see from them early in this matchup.
You know, it's difficult, though, playing up against someone like Ruxic. Remember, NAVI have had a lot of closer games, a lot of tough matchups, and this man has delivered almost every step of the way. He's leading right now in every statistic that he should be. Like,
Did he wallbang the second player? Was that why Cloud went down? Because it looked like they lined up. And then that's why he went to the pistol. But if so, that is a millisecond read that he's made to win that fight.
Yeah, I think even still you're blinded. The pistol's going to give you a better chance to take that duel. Situation of happenstance. But back to the point for Ruxic, like, he's #1 ACS kills per round. The things he's not leading in are like first kills per round. But, you know, if he is, as an Omen, we have questions to ask. And more specifically, if he is with Alexic on his team, that would be very bloody impressive.
If he is, he's seen it.
Literally.
Pretty much.
Is that Alexic's been having a great performance. Yeah. Well, again, we'll talk a lot more about these players as the game goes on. Right now, the GX, round 4, it's all Sheriffs. But we did say Westside, he's a scary man with this weapon in hand.
Whether or not they can find the space for him to get any value. They've sent Ruxic out alone. A singular kill would mean he can teleport right back to the rest of the team, but it's more so just to find if there is a stack. And if he continues to spot nothing, they may opt to try and switch up their positioning. Grabinho already on a fast flank as well. Bear in mind there isn't a Sentinel available, and with Flickless dropping 1, this extra gap could be a problem.
Could be. What Grabinho does with this
30
is
seconds left.
going to determine how the round goes. If he's still where he pushed up, well, he would have been seen by a Prowler. What a shot by Cloud. That's Ruxic, the very man we just sung the praises of. Now down and out. A 3 versus 5. The weapons don't even matter quite as much anymore. Cloud even picks up an Outlaw. The tag off that deadly, and if it's followed up by another, that's exactly what it's going to do. Hero down in the ground at 2 versus 4 on a full flood attempt. They can't stop the plant, but they can catch the players out of position. Very nice response from GX.
Yeah. Oh, a ridiculous round for them to win. A lot of it off those individual fights. I think a little bit farther push forward for that kill that Flickless managed to get. And now just waiting to see if they can retrieve any additional weaponry as well while they go. Really trying to maximize their economy as much as possible. Make sure that this round is a huge win for them overall. And of course, the pay save card Thrifty is what will garner the first round for GX.
Pay safe card Thrifty, 4 Vandals taken out of this situation as well. And it is very much just Navi in those 2 fights pushing a little bit isolated in those fights, giving the opportunities to GX that were capitalized on immediately.
Come on!
And these are the kind of rounds, I guess, where you don't want to look at it and say, hey, go search for space. See what you can get done over there. You'll see teams stick together a bit more, and I think that's exactly why.
Not going to get back into the buy rounds. Early utility being expended. The start, though, is solid once again. This aggressive fight has not worked out for the side of GX after a huge win off the pistols, but, well, I was going to say Cloud at least gives them a little bit of hope. The remaining 2 players going through the TP, that is all the information that Na'Vi could ever need. Even the paranoia sent through, but Cloud again has managed to find another. He's trying to drag his team through this round, but look at the HP.
This guy's been such a menace. It's the second time we've seen him have this kind of impact from this area of the map. Late lurking on the KO.
Remaining.
And he's finding value. 3 kills is 3 kills. That's what Angel said earlier. And another one added to the tally.
His ADR is going to be like 35.
He's finishing off the low HP players, but as he said, Tom.
Yeah, he's got his ult. He's not going to care. 6 and 3. Those are literally the only kills he's got around the low HP players. But hey, as said, a kill's a kill, and we've already witnessed that sometimes those are easier said than done. Na'Vi with an immediate response. Of course, the context here for both of these sides, they need a deep run within this tournament. A matchup versus Liquid awaits. And of course, a lower bracket matchup against Vitality. Ara, though, it's aggression again, but a completely different form. After being hit by the knife, he's forced to retreat. And I think that's what Na'Vi are actually excellent as with these prowlers, with the knife, is forcing players out of aggressive positions.
It's a nice opener. Flickless West Side down already. Alex again for another, and this site seemingly overrun already. Heroes got to hold onto the back line, though. That could cause some problems. I don't think they'll get in here in time to take Flickless back into the game. Certainly not with that showstopper sectioning them out, but it's fired early. A response to the Prowler going down. All the while, Navi moved to positions up in heaven. This post plant so open for them, and with full control over Bathroom, this would be an impossible take. GX have to send Cloud to clear that space. They're isolating themselves, but it's their only chance.
Alexic is almost just playing bait. He's spamming through that smoke. He's trying to make it seem like maybe there's more aggressive positioning than there is. Angel not needing to take the fight. We'll just fall back, and now just look at the amount of time. It's been ticking for a while. They need these kills almost immediately. And look at where Alexic ended up. He fell back to his team. They had to clear every single angle, all the way through lamps, all the way through backside. And they were just waiting off that timer. Cloud will look to flee, and he's not getting away. Alexic now adds another triple to the tally. And Na'Vi extend that lead even further.
5-1 start. And the scariest part about it is seeing Angel top frag. Again, we know the positions, the situations in which he's found those picks, but it is more so to the credit of the rest of the team, the fact that you have Alexic, Ruxic, these guys have been putting up numbers.
Good luck, brother.
In almost every series we've seen them in. And at least, you know, although they're 6-4 and 5-2, I know there's so much more that they can offer. If Angel can keep up that kind of pace, still be that menace in late rounds, this could be a very quick bind. But GX look to make a stop to it here. They've got ults to work with. They've not got much to work with anymore. That is an immediate shutdown. This looks like an eco. It's a full buy round, Tom. And Navi have just cut through the A side.
Yeah, Brooks again, it's... Well, no, I think it was Hero actually with the sniper. Or did they swap it? It was just an opener with the sniper that looked incredibly easy, combined with another kill from Angel. You can't take anything away from him this time. And then after that, Alex is like, I've got entry into a site with 2 people already dead. I guess it's a 1v1. That was a blink and you miss it round. And, well, yeah, the other 2 players, all they can hope to do is cower and hide and hold on to the guns.
Sometimes we speak about these rounds and say, well, there's not much to talk about. There's not much to write home about. There wasn't even a point of damage done by GX. This is ridiculous to see that level of a punchy play from Na'Vi when they're 5-1 up already. When the way that we've gotten here, you could look back at that timeline, you could look back at some of those rounds and go, okay, whatever. You know, GX are slow to start, but they'll get a foothold eventually, right? And now, I start to question that. They saved 2 weapons, they've still got ults to fall back on, but this was so damn quick.
Oh, it's literally a blink and you miss it. Like, Hero gets an opener. That's actually a lot more filthy than I imagined it would be. And they've just cleared that site out without any real issue at all. No wonder it's going to be a pause for GX.
Yeah, I think a pause where you're, 7 rounds played out on the server. Angel's top frag in the server. We probably do.
And you only want an eco.
Yes, you only won with 5 Sheriffs. It's probably the time to hit the brakes on this.
But something else I wanted to talk about, it's been mentioned a lot about placements of these teams, and that's where I talk about the parallels. You go back to that LCQ in 2023, which the only reason the second place team even went was because of Fnatic. Then you've had sort of like a middling year and a bad year, and then, well, almost the opposite on the other side. This is where both these teams probably have their best opportunity since 2023 to make it to an international event. I think many have the likes of NAVI as maybe a bit of a dark horse with how some of their youngsters are currently playing individually. But as you mentioned, it isn't the youngster who's at the top of the board right now, it's Angel. And if you can add him or Xiao statistically doing well, honestly, a top 4 might not be impossible.
Top 4, and no doubt they'll aim even further than that, but that would secure them that spot. That's what they want at the end of the day. 2023, the last time we've seen these teams at Champions.
I wonder with that stat as well, is how many of those matches with Angel and Xiao was Cloud on Na'Vi? Because let's not forget that Cloud used to be the talisman of this Na'Vi roster.
Now, there's been a lot of shifts, and I imagine next year we'll see even more as the EMEA landscape. It's changed over time, sometimes for better, sometimes for worse. We just saw Fnatic lose an upper bracket here today, but look at BBL and the changes they've gone through, making a Goliath out of what was previously a non-contender.
And Heretics, who they're going to play as well. That's one of the greatest moves in Valorant history, picking up 5 youngsters and, well, 4 and Boo, no offense, Boo. You're not quite as young as the rest, but making it work. Already contact play into the A site once again. 2 players ready and waiting. West side, well, you mentioned the headshot percentage. Yeah, I don't even think he connected there. Nightfall already utilized. Alexic's trying to sneak his way around the back, and both players have been revealed. They know exactly where they are. It's Ara, though, that strikes first.
Yeah, Showstopper gets hero. Ara quickly coming through the teleporter to help out on this side. He's going to keep control over Bathroom. But now knowing that there's 3 players here, they might decide to go back, but that is not Angel style. He presses forward, finds West Side, and thins the herd that little bit more. By now, 30 seconds, a decision needs to be made. They're either going to root these players from position, fight deep into this site, go teleporter, and plant on the other, and the decision's already made. They're committing. It's the wrong call from what we can see, but maybe they hope some players have left, or to bait them out into a fight while the plant's going down. It's exactly what they've done. Angel, he was left in a tough situation.
You believe for a second.
Manages to put up a few. Hey, quick adjustment. I see Angel win 1 duel. Why not 2? Why not 3? That's all there is to this one. A 2K from Angel, but Navi going 6-2. Still in the lead.
Yeah, well, also just looking back at that foot game that was played by GX, it was that defensive side that they really struggled. It was a 0-6, and definitely not a scoreline that they want to recreate here. The victory they had 7 on the defense. Obviously, that's not a possibility, and it's not something that Na'Vi even want to think about. An immediate pause called, even from such a commanding lead. They want to make sure they stamp out their opponents early.
I like the proactivity. You have got a pause to play within this half. And look, a 6-2 lead, a 6-1 lead, that's a great sign. But if GX fight their way back into this one, that advantage can quickly be forgotten. So, it's time to touch base with the coaching staff. It's time to level this playing field for Navi. Is they're not happy with how the previous one went down, but also, you think about the attack side, your waves crashing onto a beach. It's not always going to work out, but eventually you'll grind them down. You pick up a couple rounds. That's what we're looking for. And Navi, with already such a big lead, it's hard to imagine they don't at least walk out of this half with 8.
But that's what we're looking at, and that's what we're looking for, because when they played versus Fnatic, the one match we've sort of seen from them on Bind, they got 8, and they still lost. So I think that might be why. It's like, okay, we've been utterly dominant in this half so far. Let's try and make sure that we just stamp out GX altogether. And with some of their stars becoming quite quiet so far in this matchup, it's definitely something that I'm sure GX will be quite happy to have a pause themselves. Nonetheless, still a purchase in, and something that has been quite effective so far from Na'Vi has been having that attack side sniper. We've seen it with the Outlaw, and now for Ruxic, we're going to see it with the Op.
Well, you mentioned him having to be seen at if he wanted those opening duels. Perhaps that's the inspiration.
Only one of them still in the tournament.
Be the better one.
Bring them down.
7, what Navi are fighting for, but again, it's this TP from Ara. The wall that they've got gives them that little bit of extra space. Flash out of it to try and retreat, but Flickless will be caught on the cross. 1-to-1 trades, but it's the op that makes the difference. They know the spike is here, but they don't know that Hero has already crossed in. That information coming with a heavy cost as Cloud now meets his maker, and Westside 1 and 7 looks to double up his kills. He'll get at least one, but more is needed. He at least needs to survive as this plant's going down. And the rotates coming in late from Grabinho.
Ruxic on the operator. Wants to put himself into a more passive angle. Grabinho will be able to clear out a lot of mid, get them information. There's only a couple of spots that are left, and Xiao's utility could be pivotal here. He's still got himself the C's available. The Haunt maybe needed to come back online. They're actually going to be denied positioning. They're locked out of the site right now and just waiting on the timing to try and get back in, but that plant has only just started to be defused. They're a little bit late to the party, and back through Ruxic goes. He needs to get in there soon, and he's going to take it anyway! Perfectly timed on both occasions. He may have had the operator, but it's the shorty that does the work.
Yeah, getting back through that wall with a sliver of HP, time on his side. The patience there from these players, throwing in the paranoia. When, keep in mind, that defuse could have been underway. It could have been right under their nose, but they were a little late getting on it, expecting this aggression to come in a little bit earlier. And on 2 HP, Ruxic gets in there just in time to save the round. Really nice play from Navi and the readjustments, because the smoke that went down in the Cosmic Divide, that usually causes a lot of panic, but there was none to be seen.
And Snakebite. They put a lot into that. The positioning and the read from GX was sublime. One thing I will say that I've noticed so far in this match is GX, every time, whether they've won a round or lost a round, they seem to like going in for these aggressive attacks on their defense, and it hasn't worked once. The 2 rounds that they've won have been when Navi have executed and they've been sat back passive. It was the same with the pistol, they had some control on the site, and it was the same in the round that they won. The aggression almost feels like it's playing into Navi's hands. They have a lot of util for clearing these aggressive angles. That was nice, but again, it only ever ends up in a trade. I like the B-side positioning though. That was where they had success before.
In that round, it was an opening duel 1 on this A side, right? But the attempted push that came in. Good enough. But this time, moving towards the B side, there won't be 3 players stood with pistols in hand. There won't be control. As already, they've lost Long and Elbow. Alexic spotted them up top. The Opal far behind. I feel like there was a little disconnect there. Alexic going in before the paranoia had been shot. Ruxic was going to swing it. Now there's a bit of danger too with Angel isolated, being pushed on. The knights come out. Cloud probably going to just chuck that rifle over to his buddy. Still, there is definitely a chance for this to spiral out of control as fights are not being won cleanly by Navi, but time ticking. A 2 versus 2, Cloud super low, and now the last one standing, rifle on the ground. That was Westside carrying it. It'll be a 4K from Xiao that gets them around that honestly, Tom, should have been guaranteed from the get-go. Is a little too close, but they've hit 8.
It's not pretty, but it gets the job done. I feel like that has been a few of the rounds here and there for Navi, but with 8 already on the board, their economy in a very good spot. I don't think they're going to care too much. Going into this next one, they'll be the one with the majority of their ults, having the Nightfall, the null command available, and even a Viper's Pit for the post-bomb. Nonetheless, this is where we need a response from GX. I feel like maybe they can have a chance to try and turn things around on their attack side, but if they're going in 10-2 down, I think it's ropes.
Still something to fight for. This op on Ara looks to make the difference, holding down on B-Long. The Prowler coming, but he has not evaded it. Gets him just at the last second. In goes the Nightfall. The players backed out towards Elbow can reclaim that space, and the deep push on A has got a lot of information for GX, but they're rotating quickly. This is a danger. Cloud's about to have a fight on his hands, and he won't win it against Hero. Now they know about that deep aggression as well. You have to look to Angel. He has to be cautious if he's re-clearing this, and if not, you want them to group up and push together. He's definitely worried about someone having pushed up, but Xiao, he has no worries at all. It's a cleanup towards this site, leaving one in the back, Grabinho alone. He's got a nice angle on Alexic, but still loses the fight.
That ended up looking like another opportunity, but the firefights have been going Navi's way all the way through. Angel, he's just going to fall back.
Right call?
Yeah. Normally you'd see him take those battles, but I think in a playoffs match of pretty important proportions for him and the organization. And Westside on the other side, there isn't going to be any risks. I mentioned it earlier in the match. If you can get Xiao or Angel online for this team alongside the youngsters, they're a force to be reckoned with. Well, both of them are online, and that's why GX are getting slapped.
Yeah, we're coming into the last round of the half. Angel still top of the server. Xiao following him by 1 kill. And in fact,
Slightly
everybody,
less deaths.
Yeah, a few less. And everybody on NAVI, the lowest player, putting up numbers above the best of GX right now. I mean, this is a damning sign. They're getting destroyed. And with 1 round left to play for, Tom, 10-2, very much on the cards.
Yeah. Still a fair few ults as well for Navi. Alexic even just retrieving the orb to get him the showstopper. Immediately used to take space. There's only 1 defender here. It's Westside. Okay, he's gone unchecked and he's done well. Even hits the dink, leaving Ruxic a little lower. Xiao trying to defend from the Xiao's position being retaken, but it's Grubinho to come out on top. Alexic aggressive, but the Boombot hasn't connected onto him at all. It's gone past him, and now he's even going to take further space, but Cloud is aware. Keeps their advantage in their favor.
No extra space for Ruxic. And in comes the Cosmic Divide. Now problems start to brew. Knife goes deep. Don't think it caught them. They can... Well, they could flash through. They don't have anything left on Flickless. Ruxic's walked in. Had to confirm they weren't defusing. It comes at a heavy cost indeed. Now Angel, he's going to go for the knife on Diffuser. Fails it. And, well, they've got a few brandished back towards him. Grubinho sticking it, gets it across the line, but 3 rounds at the half. This is still a pretty damning position for GX to battle back from.
Yeah, they're going to have to really pull out something when moving into that second half. Otherwise, they will be going a map down. We'll find out if they've got it in them after the break.
Welcome back, folks. It is a surprise turn of events here. Seeing either of these teams lead 9-3, sure, we could imagine that. But with Angel top of the server coming out of the first half by some margin, that was a little bit outside my imagination.
Yeah, we obviously have a man who is running away with it. He's read more than 1,000 books. You're loving TFT right now. Maybe you've got a teacher in Angel. He's the same, or maybe his rank's really low in Valorant. We'll never know. We'll never know. And he won Copenhagen. That one I think is a little bit more of a well-known fact. Wow. It's not too long ago.
I remember that. It was on KO. It was on KO as well.
It was also very close, wasn't it? I feel like there was a player like 1 kill behind.
Yeah. I thought it would be longer. The last time that he top fragged.
Hello.
Stage 2. Okay, Ruxic.
Lost Grubinho already. That's all of your util in terms of your smokes gone. That's going to be incredibly difficult now with so many angles that will be tough to clear. That is not the guy you want to lose first.
The only adjustment here is moving to the A site, but they will need to be pretty quick unless this is a double fake. As they move towards the A site, there's no space taken either. Waiting for that orb to go down that, of course, on that defensive side is being roused by Hero. And it'll be a light walk back. You know, this is what you got to rely on when you can't effectively take control of a site. You have to try to make missteps from your opponents moving towards the A site, pumping the brakes, leave West side to try and grab one, and hope that this space has been left entirely open. It is at least only 2 players defending it, but
Poison's off.
going back in the other direction again.
One of them is the superstar young duelist of Angel. Can be stood in their way. Already under pressure. Plenty coming his way, and Westside has managed to deal with him. Hero also on this side. Seems like they have an expectation of where he is. The spams are very good. Doesn't even realize that he's almost taken out Cloud in the same spray, and now with 20 seconds left, his teammates are starting to arrive. The spam this time will go amiss. That means the GX have managed to get the plant down, but here is the cavalry, Alexic with both. And while they might just be walking their way into a map victory.
Yeah, lovely stuff as well. While you have one player spamming from outside bathroom, you just walk through lamps. You know at that point that the player is not planting. He's going to have to be watching an angle, and he can't watch both. So isolating those fights, walking through the orb, wonderfully done. Was Hero buying that time, but Alexic delivered that killing blow. And that may well be what this is.
I don't know. I missed.
He missed, I missed, you missed as well.
They still won the round.
Sloppy opening, but yeah, it may well be the death blow with Navi double digits secured.
Do it before.
Well, the beginning of the end.
You love a stinger. You're the biggest fan of the stinger.
Oh, listen,
so
big stinger fan. It's just that so far it feels like there's a different level of firepower on the server. And I know the GX are capable of hitting that. We've talked a lot about these players throughout these last few weeks. As I said, I've been very impressed by the entire roster.
Read from Navi here is good. They've got 3 players on the right side of the map, already timing things on the cross. They are not getting past Xiao. He has been on a tear, and if you get past Xiao, you're still going to deal with Ruxic. That wasn't an eco. That was a full investment coming out of GX, and a Stinger fan or not, they just got obliterated.
Yeah, this map is starting to feel like a formality, an ego duel between Angel and Xiao to see who can top frag by the time it's done. Maybe to see who can find the most anti-eco kills, but for Xiao, that's not what these were. Those players had shields, they had fully automatic weapons for the most part, but he stood his ground now 11-3, and again, like I said, it already felt like the beginning of the end with that pistol round, but a lost force coming out of it. Most players know this game is done, but you know, people down on the stage earlier, they'd have some words. They'd say belief is everything. We'll see if GX believe in themselves enough to fight back, because this is the round that they got their first one on the board at 5-1 down. It was with Sheriffs.
This has been so quick that Pal might still be in the building. We could get him up here to see if he still believes in this, because I think even he might not think that belief is everything in this one. Already an early fight lost. It's not getting any better. Some spams taking out Westside. Every duel is just going the way of Navi, and it has been so clean in the manner in which they've done it. Hey, let's add another to the death toll. Only Cloud remains. I feel like he has been the sort of candle at the end of a very dark tunnel, if you're looking for a light at it. But even still, he's 8-13, and he is about to walk into everyone.
Yeah. Cloud won't block out Navi's light as an in-zone flawless puts them 12-3. One more round to lock in their map pick, and doing so in such convincing fashion. That's going to put a lot of pressure on GX to come into Haven with their best foot forward, because this, I don't even know we call this a slow start. It feels like it's a non-starter for GX.
Hey, you're just going to the next map as the start of the series.
Exactly. BO2, right?
This was the warm-up scrim. You played a quick play. There you go. That was you just went through it.
Swift play at this rate.
Well, can they at least warm up 9 rounds in a row? I don't think even the most diehard GX fan is believing in this one. Rubinho's a good position, but just unable to capitalize. The knife as well has already given information over to Navi. We're seeing a lot of KO play by Angel, and I think you can see the consistent value he's pulling out of it. That knife every single time finding the push.
Oh, Hero.
That's 2 rounds in a row. The last to spam through the box. This time, just straight spam through the smoke. It doesn't help that Ara's also incredibly low on HP. Even if he gets a showstopper, he won't be able to use it. That timing's not the best, though. And Xiao's actually also desperately low.
Yeah, that might just be a way back through. Angel's over aggression, coming back to bite them like that Prowler was. Cloud straight onto Xiao. The low HP spam, easy as can be. Snakebite might buy a bit of time, might force an unusual plant position, but they're going to fight into lamps, and now GX, you talked about the light at the end of the tunnel with lamps secured. Looks like they may well have at least another round on the board. It's Ruxic and Hero, though. Two players you can't underestimate in these clutches.
Just one.
It's left down to Ruxic. As I said, a stat leader in this league for all of the important stats. They're lined up, sure, but that means there's three weapons lined up on him.
There shouldn't be any way he gets out of that one, and Cloud is going to make sure that there isn't a chance in hell. It's at least a round, but a mountain to climb. And of course, for Navi, winning the last three in relatively clean fashion. They are going to be able to get a purchase onto the board. Nightfall will be online for either side, and both teams have a close showstopper, so a lot of parallels.
Guys, listen to me right now. Let's take as many as we can. Let's get them tired a little bit, even if we don't win this map, okay?
He's looking over at Angel and thinking, you know, his bedtime's probably around 10 p.m.
He's getting tired real soon. Someone doesn't bring him a cup of tea and a biscuit, he is going to pass out.
That's going to make him more tired. Need to get him a Red Bull.
Extra sugars. Extra sugars. Yeah, 12-4. 8 rounds in a row, and you heard it there. Down on the stage from Cloud, like, this is not somewhere that GX can even look at it and go, guys, 8 in a row, that's nothing. We can get that done. No. The attitude is get as many as you can. Round by round, build your way back up. And as well, just start to fight against the narrative in Navi's head of, we are just better than these guys. Take some of that confidence away. And for a team with mostly young players, that definitely can overstate the importance. That's a great flash, but won't get anything done. Too many bodies there.
They caught 3 players, and, well, there was 4. So, a little bit unlucky. Nightfall immediately used. Now, they're not really going to be able to action much off that. In fact, Angel tried, and he gets taken out because of it. A 2-player advantage already. Well, the only man standing has just used his ultimate, so we'll know that they're there. Has to almost duck out because of the Nightfall on the other side and isn't able to avoid it. So they know that there was only 1 player around this position. That nade's not going to be helping anybody, but
30 seconds left.
even still, you kind of look at Navi and go, do you even go for this one?
To be honest, I'd probably look at them and ask that right before Xiao put his ult into the round. And I think especially having like a showstopper, Alexic, I think just claimed the orb over towards bathroom on A just before the plant went down. So even if he doesn't die, he'll have showstopper to open up the next round. And that's where a Nightfall can be so useful in just finding a target for your Raze. I think throwing it through here, it was a little lackluster. But again, you're seeing a manifestation of what GX are trying to chip away at, which is the confidence on the other side. The fact you can be in that disadvantage and still feel like, throw the ult in. We might still win this. They don't want Navi to have that kind of headspace. And if they keep up like this, they'll definitely be in a position to chisel away at the mental. 12-5. 2 players falling from GX in the end, but again, economy doesn't matter to them at all. As long as they can get rifles up, there's no next round.
Oh, they were so unlucky. Like, it literally caught everyone other than Grubinio.
No need for that.
Yeah, not even a slow-mo. That was a
Let's
freeze
go. I
frame.
believe in you, and you need to believe in me. Let's go.
Amen.
This is the other thing. I feel like in 2 of these rounds, we've seen Angel go like, I'm going to get that top frag back. He tried to flash ahead of Xiao.
Go peeking.
Xiao, stand behind me. I'm going to pop flash myself in. All right. I see how you're moving right now.
Xiao, use Nightfall. I need to swing. They do still have a purchase. Showstopper as well. Ara yet to find his, so ball still feels like it's in Navi's court, and of course it does. They're 12-5 up. So whether or not they start getting complacent, maybe a little over-aggressive, we've already seen it. Their attack side of this map versus Fnatic was sublime. Their defense left a lot to be desired. Alexic almost with an opener and actually able to retreat, but it's a bit of a bait. Trying to pull them into position. The nade even helping defend, trying to bait the TP, but Ara has managed at least to bring one back. It's not the greatest of starts. It's at least something.
I think that's just priorities for
back
Ruxic.
for more?
He put his smoke up. It stopped Alexic from being able to trade, but it would have allowed him to TP safely out. I believe he would have still had Shroud step play into. Angel's got to fight. Showstopper active and shut down immediately. Hell, if you want to fight your way back in, GX, you're starting to convince me this is looking better round by round, but it's Angel they have to get past. He's holding on to control the lamps. He's not over peaking. It's a rarity. Jot it down. And a plant can now come through, but with Ara down, Flickless wants to fight, and that is his undoing. 13-5, NAVI with a dominant showing. And there really is no question about whose pick this was coming into the series.
Yeah, for sure. For GX now, sure, they go into a map that they've had a couple of good showings here and there, but they don't even know what they're facing off against. So we'll have to wait until after the break to find out what NAVI will bring.